Hello everybody and welcome to week 5 of PTE Foundation class. I'm Leila here and I'm very glad to be with you for the next 3 hours covering very important stuff regarding grammar and pronunciation today. As I told you guys, today is a very important day in this class. Of course, every day of the class is very important. But the content we will be covering today is sort of a very important content. This is one of the grammar topics I know many English learners struggle with since they start learning English, okay? And that's the tenses. So get ready for a very important grammar lesson. Make sure that you put whatever energy, focus, and concentration you have in today's class. And if there are any problems, if it's like you don't get something, you've got questions, make sure that you type it here in the group because I'm having a look at the chats there at the same time. I try to cover your questions. Even if I skip the questions or I don't see the question, that's fine. I will definitely cover it in the Q&A podcast. We will email you tomorrow, okay? So let's go. All right. First of all, like every session, I would like to thank our sponsors, Visapick and Visapick Apply. Thank you very much for sponsoring us and enabling us to provide this course free of charge to all of you guys. And my husband, Mas, the CEO of Visapick and Visapick Apply, of course, he's currently in Tehran, far away, but very close to you. Make sure you follow us on all our social media. You follow us on Instagram, the Visapick, it's Visapick. You can easily actually find it on Instagram. Make sure you follow us. Also, the student visa part of Visapick, which is Visapick Apply, used to be called Unively, but the name has officially changed. So make sure you follow visapick.apply on Instagram for useful content on studying in Australia. And also our very own Instagram account, picktalk.english. Make sure you follow us on Instagram as well. But the way we mainly communicate with each other, all the people in this class, is through our Telegram group, PTE Picktalk, okay? At PTE Picktalk, and this is the QR code. I think most of you, probably all of you, are a member right now in the group. If not, I'll wait for a few seconds, just letting you to scan this barcode and become a member in this group. It's very important. Any announcements, like last minute announcement, whatever, they all happen in this group. All right. PTE Foundation, and the story continues. PTE Foundation is about the foundation of knowledge you need for PTE in a nutshell. So we are going to have a PTE in a nutshell class after the PTE Foundation class as well. These are the grammar topics we require for PTE. Remember, we've already talked about some of them. In our week 1, we covered countable, uncountable nouns and English articles. Then we covered noun phrases. We have also covered verb forms last session, which was a hard and challenging class. I realized it, but I decided to have an explanation for the exercises on the Q&A podcast. I hope you found that explanation useful. I will continue sending you the Q&A podcast. They are very useful podcasts. Make sure you listen to them. It doesn't need your full concentration. You can listen to it when you're on public transport, you're on the train, you're driving in the car, you're in traffic, you're stuck in traffic. Listen to that Q&A podcast. It's a very useful support for what happens after the class, okay? Today in particular, we're going to cover tenses in English, and you're going to receive a grammar worksheet that there are a lot of exercises about tenses in English. And in order to explain those answers, I know that the answer key might not be enough. I mean, you know the answer is A or B. You want to know why. You want to know why you made a mistake. So I'm going to send you an explanation of those answers on the Q&A podcast. Listen to it. Don't miss it. Well, now guys, ready, steady, let's jump in. We talked about tenses a little bit last session, but it was very short. We just talked about the difference between the tense and the form, because last time we talked about verb forms. We said that verb forms is something mechanical. You say, for example, like verb plus ing, verb plus ing, the PP form of the verb, infinitive without to, okay, past form. These are all mechanical. But when it comes to the tense, this session, it's all about the meaning. Why? Because the verb tense tells us when an action or event happened in relation to the present, past, and future. Okay, so when I tell you I'm running, it's very different than I ran yesterday. When I'm telling you I'm running, of course I use present continuous. I am running. But I'm telling you, hey, I am running right now. Or I am running these days. So I'm giving you some more information about the time I'm doing it. When I say, I ran before you came, again, I'm giving you some information. It's not just about running. It's the fact that I ran in the past. Okay, so verb tenses are very important because they change the meaning. Okay. I remember when I was teaching in classes, okay, in like English classes, a lot of students, when we had these like face-to-face classes, a lot of students always told me, Leila, please correct me. I don't want to say nonsense. Whenever I make a mistake, please correct me. It's very interesting. Iranian students are like, some of them like to be corrected, some of them don't like to be corrected. But for example, East Asian or Asian students, they like to be corrected. Like Japanese students, they love to be corrected. Because when you don't correct them, they feel you're not paying attention to them. They think, for example, I'm listening to them and I'm thinking about my kids. And they say, hey, Leila, correct me. Listen to me, correct me. One of the things students love to be corrected on is tenses. And I think that's very true because tenses add meaning to your sentence, okay? I'm just trying to tell you how important tenses are. Now, what are the tenses in English? Look, guys, there are 12 tenses in English. We are going to cover all of them, but we're not going to cover like all of them from A to Z. We cover as much as you need for PTE, because don't forget, this is a PTE Foundation class. I don't want to teach you tenses in like a general English class. I want to teach you tenses for PTE. So I'm going to talk about some parts more. I'm going to talk about some parts less. Now, what are the tenses? Present simple or simple present, present continuous, present perfect continuous, past simple or simple past, past continuous, past perfect continuous, future simple, future continuous, future perfect, and of course we have future perfect continuous too, that I haven't covered it here. I had a teacher, right now he is a teacher tutor and he lives in Canada. He was my sort of idol teacher, you know, I just wanted to be like him. He was my role model in teaching. He always said something. He said, future perfect continuous is used by any native speaker only once before they die. He wanted to say this tense is not useful at all. Okay, so future perfect continuous, like I will have been going, okay? Imagine I'm a native speaker and I will die in 1 second. I say, I will have been going and then I die, all right? So it's the least useful tense even for the native speaker, so don't worry about that. Okay, now we're going to start with probably the easier ones, but they seem easy. Sometimes they get very challenging and very confusing. Let's start. Welcome to simple present, guys. Any tense we're going to talk about 2 aspects of that tense. Number 1, How is that tense formed? For example, I don't know, will plus be plus verb plus ing. That's called the form, the formula of the tense. You need to know. It's very, very important for PTE, okay? And number two, we're going to say when and how this tense is used. What's the usage or what's the use of this tense? So two categories. What is the form of the tense and how is this tense used? What is the usage of this tense? Okay. When I'm talking about the form, all right, I start with the form. When I'm talking about the form, I talk about, again, three different forms. I'm talking about positive sentences, negative sentences, and questions, because you need to know the form, for PTE, you need to know the form in a statement, positive sentence, in a negative sentence, and also in a question. Okay, so let's start. In a statement for simple present, we have subject plus the base form of the verb. Remember, we had base form last time, like go, come, sit, jump, teach, learn, all right? And if your subject is he or she or it, or like Emily or Jack, all right, or the cat, then you need to add s or es to the verb. For example, I study English. Okay, that's the base form of the verb. She eats breakfast every day. Okay, guys, just pay attention to the form. Forget about the meaning. Okay, we will cover the meaning after that. So I study, she eats. They play football on weekends. All right, these are all simple present. I study, she eats, they play. When we get to negative, we need to add do or does not before the base form of the verb and then the rest of the sentence. It's very easy. Have a look. I study English. I do not study English. Okay? And of course, you can say I don't study English, but PT is an academic test. And in academic speaking or in academic writing, we do not use contractions very often. Okay, so for the sake of PTE, I don't study English is not that much used. We mostly use I do not study English because it's academic and formal. She does not eat breakfast every day. And of course, you pay attention, you know that. Whenever you've got does, doesn't, does not, then there is no s or es at the end of the verb. She does not eat breakfast every day. They do not play football on weekends. Play, they don't play. She eats, she doesn't eat. I study, I don't study. And when it comes to the question, guys, do and does comes to the beginning of the sentence. Then you have the subject, and then you've got the base form of the verb. For example, do I study English? And I go up if it's a yes and no question. Does she eat breakfast every day? Does she eat breakfast? Because I have does, then I don't say eats. I just say eat. Does she eat breakfast every day? Do they play football on weekends? Yes or no? Do they play football on weekends? About this going up, going down in questions, they are all very important for PTE. They form part of your oral fluency, and we'll be talking about all of them next session. Next week, we'll be covering these intonations, ups and downs. Today, just focus on the grammar. Now, to me, that part is the easy part. You just memorize. But this part is very important because you need to understand. When do we use present simple or simple present? Number one, we use simple present, guys, when we're talking about the facts. For example, the sun rises in the east. The sun rises in the east, okay? Of course, the sun is like it. It's third person singular, so you need that S. So it rises in the east. Why do you say it like that? Because it's a fact. It's a truth. And for truth, we always use present simple, okay? Feeling comfortable in a new country takes time. Imagine you immigrate to Australia, okay? You immigrate to Australia today. Tomorrow you wake up and you say, oh God, I don't feel comfortable in this country. I really felt more comfortable in my home country. I had my parents around, I had my family around, I had my friends around. I don't feel comfortable. And I tell you, hey, listen, this is a fact. Feeling comfortable in a new country takes time. It's a fact. Okay, I think I'm one. Yep. Guys, before going to the next usage, which is the easy one, this one probably was the more challenging one. Could you type some examples for this use of present perfect? Present simple. Present simple is used when you're talking about facts. I'm waiting for your examples, guys. Guys, I'm waiting for your examples. I want an example with present simple that talks about a fact. For example, the sun rises in the east. The sun sets in the west. These are sometimes those scientific or academic facts. The weather is hot today. Very good. Is Fereshte. Ramo, water boils at 100 degrees centigrade. Well done. Farhang says, the God is kind. We say God. God is fine, is kind. Well done. Said, you say I wake up at 5 o'clock every day. Please pay attention that that's a routine. That's not a fact. Okay? That's the next usage of present simple. Very good. Adela, getting good marks in PTE needs a lot of practice. Very much practice. Well done. That's a fact. We have hot weather in the summer. Well done. Being successful needs practicing. The weather is sunny. Sabah says students haven't a lot of money. You need to say, Sabah, your sentence is negative, so you need to say do not have. Students don't have a lot of money, or students haven't got a lot of money. UV is dangerous. Very good, guys. We have 4 seasons. All of us immigrate to Australia. Well done, Mahir. Excellent, guys. They're all good examples. Let's move on. We need to somehow a little bit rush through this because we've got a lot to cover. Said had a sentence. He said, I wake up at 5 o'clock every morning. I wake up at 5 o'clock every morning. That's the correct usage of simple present too when we're talking about routines, okay? When something is a routine, when something is a habit, you can also use simple present for that. For example, I drink coffee every morning. That's so interesting, guys. When I was in Iran, I hated coffee. I even hated the smell of coffee. You might not believe it. But when I came to Australia, for some reason, I don't know why, I really started to love coffee. And every morning, in order to start my life, I drink coffee. If I don't drink my coffee, then it's like my mind stops working. So I drink coffee every morning. And you know, Melbourne is the city of coffee culture in Australia. Melbourne is known to have the best cafes and the best coffees. I'm not trying to boast. Okay. Now, PTE TikTok members, you guys, take a grammar and vocabulary mini quiz twice a week. It's not a mini quiz, guys. It's a mini quiz. So, PTE TikTok members take a grammar and vocabulary mini quiz twice a week. Look, guys, this is a routine. Okay, every week, starting from last week, we have 2 mini quizzes. All right, so you take a grammar and vocabulary mini quiz twice a week. These are habits, or let's say routines. Somaya says our PTE class starts at 8:30 every Friday. Well done, that's right. Visapick holds gap sessions 2 or 3 times a week. This is a routine Visapick has, okay? It's like, it might change some weeks, but this is usually the same thing. It's a routine. Visapick holds gap sessions 2 or 3 times a week. Because it's a routine, I say holds. Number 3, guys, is a less known usage of present simple. You might know about the first usages. They are very common. But this one is a more challenging one, is a little bit maybe the more unknown one. We use simple present when we have a scheduled event in the future. For example, the train departs at 9 a.m. Right now, it's not 9 a.m. Right now, it's, for example, 5 to 9, okay? So 9 a.m. is in the future, but the train departure happens based on a timetable. When you have a schedule, when you have a timetable, we use simple present to talk about the future. Like the train departs at 9 a.m. Schedule. Our PTE Foundation class begins or starts at 3 p.m. Melbourne time next week. If I want to talk about every week, like what Somaya did, I can say our PTE Foundation class starts at 9 o'clock, okay? But when I'm talking about next Friday, I use the same grammar. I don't say will start, I say starts, because it's based on a timetable, because it's based on a schedule. Is it wrong to say will start? No, you can say will start, okay? So our PTE Foundation class begins at 3 p.m. Melbourne time next week. I want to show you something interesting, guys. I don't know if you paid attention to the picture or not. I didn't pay attention to the picture myself until I saw this. This is Lyra, as you see, guys. She is in her brother's bookshelf, okay? She's a very, very naughty girl. She is about 16 months, so she's not walking yet, but she crawls super fast. And the whole time she's climbing, she's getting into places, and she tries to carry a lot of things. Right now, you see she's carrying some toys. She's got some in her hand. She's got one in her mouth, okay? I say, now this naughty girl, she starts daycare in early February. So the good days are gonna finish. She's not gonna stay at home anymore. She needs to go to daycare, all right? Lyra starts daycare in early February. Why? Because we have a schedule for that. Okay, it's like I went to the daycare center, I registered her, all right, so everything is all set, and I say Lyra starts daycare. Can I say Lyra will start daycare? Yes. But the sense is different. Okay. Now, that's all from present simple. We're going to practice them, so hang on, okay? We're going to practice them today, and we're going to practice them in Grammar in Use book, and we're going to practice them in grammar in our grammar worksheet. It all needs practice. It seems easy, but you need to know how to use it and when to use it. Now, moving on, we go to one of my favorite tenses, which is present continuous. If you look at this timeline, guys, you see that present continuous is something which is in progress right now, all right, or something temporary. Let's jump into it. What is the form of present continuous? Quick, quick, quick. It's subject, am, is, are, plus verb, plus ing, and the rest of the sentence. For example, I am studying English. I am studying English now. She is eating breakfast now. Okay, a lot of you are eating breakfast now, okay? You're looking at me and you've got your bread and cheese and you put walnut on it and your sweet tea is there, yeah? You just stir it, you drink, and you put that big bite into your mouth and you say, yes, Layla, you're right. Who's eating breakfast now? Thumbs up if you're having your breakfast now. No. Okay. I wish I could have some nune sangay and Tabrizi cheese on it. Oh my God, oh my God. Okay, so she's eating breakfast now, maybe one of you guys. They are playing football. Now, the negative form am, is, are, plus not, plus ing, that's the whole thing. I'm not studying English, or I am not studying English. Guys, please don't get creative. We don't have I amn't, for example, studying English. We don't have that. You need to say I am not or I'm not. That's all. She's not having breakfast now, or she's not eating breakfast now. Of course, you know, some verbs can never be used with ing in present continuous tense, like have. I cannot say I'm having a car because it means own. I need to say I have a car. But I can say I'm having my breakfast because here have means eat. And eating can continue. So please pay attention to all these. You will have exercises in your grammar in use book about this. So hold on. She is not having breakfast now or eating breakfast now. They are not playing football now. And the question am, is, are is shifted to the beginning of the sentence followed by the subject. Am, is, are plus subject plus verb plus ing. Easy peasy. Are you studying English? Is she eating breakfast now? Is she? Are you? Am I? Are they playing football? Are they playing football? Now, the most important thing about present continuous, guys, like a lot of tenses, is its usage. When do we use present continuous? When? Number one, we use present continuous when actions are happening right now. Okay, like what? I'm teaching tenses now. You see me, guys, that's very true. You see me sitting down, sharing my slides. It's all about tenses. I'm teaching tenses now. What are you doing at the moment, guys? What are you doing at the moment? You are listening to me. You're watching me. You are making notes, maybe. You're having your breakfast, probably, okay? But please, please, whatever you're doing, guys, don't scroll on Instagram when you're in my class, all right? Say, okay, Leila is saying something very easy. Let's go and see what's happening on Instagram. Let's check their stories. Don't do that, please. Fereshe is watching me. Adele is taking notes. Very good. Fahime is writing notes. Somaya is, I think you are Somaya. You're learning English and eating breakfast. Well done. Now, when you use present continuous, guys, it's not necessarily an action that is happening now, exactly now. It could be an action which is temporary and might not be happening at the moment of speaking, like this. For example, PickTalk is running a PTE Foundation course these days, okay? Look, of course, right now we're running the class, okay, but 3 hours later, our class will have been finished, all right? But I say PickTalk is running a PTE class, okay? Although the class is not in progress, I say PickTalk is running a PTE Foundation class because it is happening these days. It is something temporary. It's not going to continue for a long time, and it didn't start a long time ago. It is happening these days, and it will finish rather soon. This week, my God, what am I saying? I'm unveiling some secrets. This week, Visapick is unveiling an exciting new project in Tehran. Some of you, maybe a few of you, might be part of this project. You already know. It's a very, very exciting project, and I just want to tell you, I wish I were in your shoes. Hope you'll enjoy the project very much. So this week, Visapick is unveiling, it means it's showing, an exciting new project in Tehran, okay? Look, Visapick is not doing it right now. Right now it's Friday. Nothing is happening in Tehran. But because it's about this week, all right, it's something that happens this week and then probably finishes, I use present continuous. At the present time, Australia and Canada are accepting many immigrants from around the world. Of course, we all know that Canada might be a little bit kinder than Australia in accepting immigrants, but generally speaking, these two countries welcome a lot of immigrants. So at the present time, we don't know what will happen in the future. We don't know what will happen next year. We don't know what will happen in the next decade. But these days, at the present time, currently, Canada and Australia are accepting immigrants from around the world. Is it something permanent? Probably not. It's something temporary. They accept immigrants as long as they need immigrants. When they don't need immigrants, they're not going to accept immigrants, okay? So that's something temporary. Okay. So at the present time, Australia and Canada are accepting many immigrants from around the world. And the last usage of present continuous is arrangements. Number 3 is arrangements in the future, okay? Like what? Look at the example. It's very interesting. We are running a new PTE nutshell course for a few weeks after PTE Foundation finishes. So we are running a new PTE nutshell course a few weeks after PTE Foundation finishes. You see, guys, I'm talking about the future, but I don't say we will run. I say we are running. Why do I say we are running? I say that because we do it based on an arrangement. We've arranged it with the team. We've arranged it with Visapick. We've arranged it with TikTok guys. We've arranged it. It's an arrangement. Okay? We've set the dates, for example. Okay? We've told the team about it. This is an arrangement. So I say we are running a new PTE nutshell course a few weeks after PTE Foundation finishes. Guys, I'm going to use maybe a bite of Farsi here, just to make sure you know what I'm talking about. Look, this usage of arrangement in the future is like قراره. قراره یه اتفاقی بیفته. In Farsi, whenever we say قراره, in English, we use present continuous. So we're running a new PTE nutshell course. It means قراره که یه PTE nutshell course دیگه run کنیم، برگزار کنیم. This is an arrangement in the future. Now, have a look at the next one. This one is also a very useful example. I'm seeing my dentist at 4 p.m. today. Okay, so in about 20 minutes, I will finish the class, okay? And because I am seeing my dentist. I am seeing my dentist. What does it mean? Are you seeing your dentist now? No, my dentist is in his office, okay? But I called his receptionist, I made an appointment, and he told me that you can like come at 4 o'clock, okay? We have like a vacancy, so come. This is an arrangement. So I say I'm seeing my dentist, I'm visiting my dentist. Guys, you are asking a very good question here in the group. You say, what is the difference between I'm going to see my dentist and I'm seeing my dentist? You will do exercises about it in your Grammar in Use book. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask that question, all right? But I will talk about it a little bit right now. Look, when I say I'm going to see my dentist at 4 p.m. today, it's my plan. Maybe I haven't called my dentist yet. Maybe I haven't booked an appointment, maybe, and maybe I have booked an appointment. But this is a plan in my mind. But when I say I am seeing my dentist, it's more than a plan, it's an arrangement. When something is an arrangement, you have taken some steps for it. Like I say, I'm traveling to Tehran next summer. I'm traveling to Tehran next summer. Say me yes or no. Tell me yes or no, sorry. Did I buy my tickets? I'm traveling to Tehran next summer. Did I buy my tickets? Excellent. Very good. Yes. When I tell you I'm traveling to Tehran, it means that I have my tickets. Hey, look, this is my ticket. All right? But when I say I'm going to travel to Tehran next summer, or I'm planning to travel to Tehran next summer, do I have my tickets? I'm going to travel, probably not. Maybe yes, maybe no, all right? But when I say I'm traveling, it means I'm definitely coming because I have my tickets. That's the difference. Well done. Okay. Guys, I know that we are spitting, but we have to do it because we've got a lot to do. We're busy people. I love to be busy, guys. When you're busy, you don't waste time. You know, when you're busy, you don't waste time. So I love being busy. And I've made you very, very busy, I know. Okay, the next tense we're going to talk about, guys, is one of the most practical tenses in English. And it's one of the tenses most people don't like that much maybe, but it's a very useful tense. It's present perfect, okay? We use present perfect. Of course, it's have or has plus past participle, as you see here. We use present perfect about something that happened in the past, continues until now, or something that happened in the past, but we can see the result right now, okay? Something like this. But we're going to deep dive into it. Do you like present perfect? If you like present perfect, please show me thumbs up. Or you don't like it? Oh, you love it. Good. Good for present perfect, guys. I'm jealous of him or her. All right, let's go. Welcome to present perfect. First of all, easy peasy. What's the form of present perfect, guys? Subject, have or has plus PP. You all know it. I swear you all know it, okay? I swear to God. But it's the function which is a little bit confusing. Wait. For the negative form, we have or has plus not. We don't have doesn't or don't here. It's have or has plus not plus PP. Like what? I have studied English since I was 10. Just pay attention to the form. Have studied English. She has not eaten breakfast, so she's hungry now. She has not eaten, eaten, PP of eat. She has not eaten, she hasn't eaten breakfast, so she's hungry now. They have played football instead of volleyball lately. They have played football instead of volleyball lately, okay? Pay attention to have played. So, have, has, plus PP. Have not, has not, plus PP. And what's the question form? The question form is have or has plus subject plus PP. Like what? Have you studied English since you were 10? Have you studied English? Have you studied English since you were 10? Has she eaten breakfast? She has eaten. Has she eaten breakfast? Have they played football instead of volleyball lately? Have they played football instead of volleyball lately? Easy peasy. What I love is the usage of present perfect, which is very, very important. And guys, I'm telling you, present perfect is one of the most practical tenses for native speakers. So it's not like you say native speakers never use present perfect. No, they use present perfect. The only difference is that they don't think they're using it. But when we're non-native speakers, sometimes we think, oh, now I need to use present perfect. Let's use it. Have or has plus PP, okay? But a native speaker never does it. Uses present perfect automatically, spontaneously. Good for them. When do we use present perfect? We use present perfect when something happened in the past, we don't know exactly when, and we don't care. But the result is important now. So, something happened in the past. Do you know the exact time? No. Is it important? No, it's not important to know the exact time. So what is important now? The result, the effect of it is important now. For example, I have already taught IELTS, TOEFL IBT, PTE, and General English courses. This is my sort of experience, isn't it? I have already taught. I taught IELTS in the past, I taught IBT in the past, I taught PT in the past, and also General English courses, a lot of General English courses in the past. When did you teach them? In the past, many different times in the past. Is it important to know the exact time? No. So what's important now, Leila? It's important that if you have it's important because if you have a PTE question, I can answer you. If you have an IELTS question, I can answer you. If you have a General English question, I might be able to help, okay? So, happened in the past, the exact time is not important, the result, the effect, or the experience is important now. And guys, pay attention to already. Already is one of the adverbs which is used very often with present perfect. Recently, PTE TikTok has added General English practice to its weekly schedule. If you are a member of our PTE TikTok group, that most of you, probably all of you are, you've noticed that beginning from last week, okay, PTE Pick Talk has added general English practice into its schedule. So like 2 times a week on Mondays and Thursdays, we have general English quizzes, general English practice. Okay, so is the exact time important? Did you add it on Sunday or on Monday? It's not important. It's important that we have added it, and now you can use those exercises. Pay attention, guys. Recently is an adverb which is used very often with present perfect. And a question. Have you read any new books or listened to any new podcasts lately? Lately? Have you read any new books or have you listened to any new podcasts lately? I'm asking you about the past. I'm not asking you about last week or last month or 3 days ago. But I'm asking you about your experience, the result of that. If you've read a new book, maybe you want to introduce that to me. If you've listened to a new podcast, maybe you want to talk about it right now. Okay? And it happened lately. Lately, recently, already, in recent years. These are the common adverbs for present perfect. Now, guys, have you read any new books or listened to any new podcasts lately? If yes, could you type some names for us in the group? Any new books you've recently read or any new podcasts you've recently listened to that you would like to introduce to your friends? Very good. 50 Shades of Grey. You've watched. Have you read the book or watched the movie? Sepidev. Oh my God. Parina's Ravaq podcast. I love Ravaq podcast. I used to listen to it like 2 years ago, but unfortunately I stopped. Very good. I have read 5 a.m. book recently. Perfect. She doesn't say, or he doesn't say exactly when, but said that has already done it. Radio Rah. Very good. Tabaqe 16 podcast. Very good. I've listened to Tabaqe 16. What is it? Level 16 podcast? Let's see. Bishuri. Shades of Grey. Aussie podcast. Well done, Farzana. Very much to the point. Why a Nation Fails. Success documentary. Unreal Capitalism. A podcast about climate change. Wabi Sabi. Roch podcast. Chai with Banafshe. Oh my God. Fikri. Slow English podcast for English. Well done. Well done, guys. Look, now that you're typing this, I just want you to have this sentence. I've listened to this recently. I've started listening to this lately. Okay? All present perfect. Moving on. Oh my God. Guys, this is me. I've lost my keys and can't get inside. I lose my keys very often, okay? I have lost my keys. Did you lose them 5 minutes ago? Did you lose them on the way? Did you lose them 10 minutes ago? I don't know. I just know that, look, I can't find my keys. I've lost them and I can't get in. She has not booked her PTE test yet. She has not booked her PTE test yet, okay? So sometimes your sentence is negative. And when it is negative, one of the adverbs you can use is yet. Like we use already in statements, positive sentences, and yet in negative sentences. She has not booked her PTE test yet, okay? Some of my examples are about PTE so that you don't forget about this lovely test. Okay, great. There are so many examples here, guys, because this is a very important topic. So far, guys, I wanted to talk about it, of course. I put 3 dots, but I need to talk about it with you for a couple of minutes. So far, we have raised about 14 million tomans for charity, thanks to you. 14 million tomans. So far, we have raised, and the result is the number 14 million. If you remember, last week I talked about 25 million. I don't know if you remember that or not. I made a mistake because they, from PickTalk team, they had shared an Excel with me for PickTalk charity. And instead of looking at sheet 19, I was looking at sheet 1. So it was the first PickTalk course we held that we could raise 24 million. Sorry guys, that was not a correct figure. This is the correct figure. So far, we've been able to raise, or so far we have raised 14 million for charity. Okay, sorry guys. Yes, this one. Guys, if you want to donate to any charities or any people in need for PickTalk, all right, please let us know. We don't need any receipts. We don't need any proof. Just a text message will do. Please text at PickTalk_admin and let us know how much you have donated to the charity or to the person in need. And of course, I will update you every session how much we've been able to raise. Okay. We talked about present perfect, and we said present perfect is used when something happened in the past, we don't know the exact time, and the result is important now. Another usage of present perfect, which is very common, is when you talk about experience. It's very much like number 1, okay? For example, have you ever been to Istanbul? Have you ever been to Istanbul? Guys, have you ever been to Istanbul? Yes or no? Look, I'm asking about your experience. You know, been to means gone. I don't say, have you ever gone to Istanbul? I say, have you ever been to Istanbul? It means visited. And guys, if you haven't been to Istanbul, don't worry. Because for taking PTE, most of you will definitely travel to Istanbul. And I'm afraid to say, many of you will need to travel to Istanbul more than once, which is the sad part of it. But it's like you travel, you take the test, you're not happy with the result. You come back, you study more, you go to take the test again. So you will definitely travel to Istanbul, I don't know, one or at least one or a couple of times. The next one. Has PickTalk ever run an IELTS course? I'm asking about our experience. Has PickTalk ever run an IELTS course? Yes or no? You might have been in our IELTS course too. We have had 2 IELTS courses so far. One IELTS 4.5 for business visas at that time, like 3-4 years ago. No, 3 years ago, sorry. And one IELTS 6, general IELTS 6. So we have run a couple of IELTS courses. I love this sentence. I have never had kangaroo meat. I have never had kangaroo meat. Look guys, here on the slide you can see the kangaroo meat. Okay, it's diced kangaroo. You can get it from the supermarkets. And you know, it's not like Australians eat a lot of kangaroo meat. I mean, it's not their everyday food. They might eat it sometimes, very rarely, but it's not their everyday food. Now guys, this is half a kilo of kangaroo meat. How much do you think it costs? Tell me in dollars, how much is this? Half a kilo of diced kangaroo meat, very suitable for ghormeh sabzi. How much do you think it costs? Half a kilo, Saeed. Nima, your response is the closest so far. And Fahime, you're not far away. Let me tell you guys, it's $11. I checked it yesterday. So my information is very up to date. This kangaroo meat is sold at $11. It's not expensive at all. We might think it's kangaroo meat, it must be expensive. No. As I told you guys, it's not very popular, honestly. I've never had it. I'm not adventurous with food at all. I just tried the food I already know. So don't count on me to tell you what it tastes like. All right, good. So talking about my experience using ever and never, ever in negative sentences and questions like have you ever been to Istanbul, and never in like positive sentences. It has a negative meaning, but in positive sentences, like I have never tried kangaroo meat. I've never had kangaroo meat. Okay. And finally, we use present perfect, guys. When something happened in the past, and continues until now. Maybe it continues in the future, maybe not. We don't care. It started in the past, continued up until now. Like what? I have taught English for over 20 years. I started exactly 20 years ago, 20 years and 3 months ago. I taught up until now. What about the future? I will be teaching English, of course, but I don't care about it right now. I'm just talking about this length. I have taught English for 20 years. I can also say I've taught English since 20 years ago. That's also correct. Visapick has provided Australian immigration services since 2017. So, Visapick started, of course, this firm started in 2017, and since then, it has provided Australian immigration services. Started in the past, continues up until now. We have worked on our PTE Foundation course for the past 5 weeks. We is me and you and the team. We have worked on our PTE Foundation course for the past 5 weeks. We started 5 weeks ago on the 4th of August, worked up until now, okay? Now, oh, sorry. I love the last sentence, guys. You must love it too. You've listened to me and enjoyed since 8:30 a.m. today. You've listened to me and enjoyed your time. Enjoyed seeing me since 8:30 a.m. today. Thank you very much for showing hearts, guys. So, you started at 8:30 a.m., guys, and unfortunately, it is still continuing, all right? Good. Now, I'm sure a lot of you thought, Leila, when you say I have taught English for the past 20 years, can we say I have been teaching English for the past 20 years? Can we say Visapick has been providing immigration services since 2017? Can we say you've been listening and enjoying since 8:30 a.m.? And my answer to that is a definite yes. In this particular usage, present perfect simple is the same as present perfect continuous, okay? So just take it easy. Present perfect continuous could also be used for this. What is the form? It's subject, have or has, plus been, plus verb, plus ing. What is the negative form? Subject, have or has, not been, verb, ing. The question? Have or has, subject, been, verb, ing. Okay? Now, when are they exactly used? When something starts in the past or started in the past and continues until now. For example, remember I said I have taught English? I can say I have been teaching English. Remember I said Visapick has provided immigration services? I can say Visapick has been providing. Have or has, been, verb, ing. Remember we say we have worked on our PTE course? I can say we have been working on our PTE Foundation course for the past 5 weeks. And the last one, we said you've listened to me and enjoyed. You can say you've been listening to me and enjoying since 8:30 a.m. today. Does present perfect continuous have any other usages? Yes, it does. Do we need that? No. Are we going to talk about it? No. This is the only usage of present perfect continuous useful for us, for PTE. Okay, so just forget about it. This is what we need. Something started in the past, continues up until now. Okay, good. I got some examples here, like I have practiced PTE since 2023 or January 2023. You can say I have been practicing PTE, okay? And even that one is better, guys. When something is continuous, it's good to use the continuous tenses for that. All right, now, let's get to something very easy, simple past. First, what is the form? It's subject plus the past form. If it's negative or question, you need did. And fortunately, it's did for she, it's did for he, no difference. Okay, and of course the question is on the next slide. For example, I studied English yesterday. Something happened in the past and finished. She did not have breakfast this morning and was hungry until lunchtime. She did not have breakfast. It means she did not eat breakfast in the past. They played football instead of volleyball last week. The question, did and subject. Like what? Did you study English yesterday? Did she have breakfast this morning? Did they play football instead of volleyball last week? What are the usages? Look, guys, easy peasy. Past actions with a specific or specified time. When you have something happen in the past and you know the time or like the approximate time, we use simple past. For example, we started our PTE Foundation course on the 4th of August. We started. Why? Because it happened in the past and we have the exact time. We ran a shorter class last week because of the student visa webinar. I'm talking about last week. Remember, we had a shorter class? We ran a shorter class last week. I had a busy day yesterday. I'm talking about the past. Yesterday is already gone. I had a busy day yesterday. You know I love Alexander Graham Bell. Next session, when we'll be talking about a passive and active, I will talk about Alexander Graham Bell a lot. He's my favorite scientist. Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. Look, for this one, we don't have the exact time. I didn't say Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone in 1870 something. I don't know really, I don't remember. But because Alexander Graham Bell is dead, because this person is not alive anymore, we use past simple for anything about him. Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, okay? And we don't have the exact time, and that's okay. Like I say, Shakespeare wrote a lot of plays. I don't say the exact time, but of course he's dead, so I use simple past. Edison discovered the electricity. I don't say the exact time, but Edison is dead, so I say Edison discovered the electricity, okay? Good. Now, past simple is easy peasy. Maybe the more challenge we have with past simple is about its pronunciation, which we will talk about today. But the more challenging tense compared to simple past is past continuous. Again, it's one of my favorite tenses. It's very, very useful. Welcome to it. What is the form? You don't like that? You don't like past continuous, guys? Who likes past continuous? Was, verb plus ing. Oh my God. It's good. A few of you like it. Good, good, good. Great, great, great. Don't break past continuous hearts, guys. It's listening to you and it loves you to love him or her. Past continuous is a girl, I think. I don't know why. But I think it's like all tenses have a gender to me. For example, past simple is a boy. Past continuous is a girl. I don't know why, but this is how I feel about the tenses. I have my own reasons, but I'm not going to tell you. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you. Because it's not that good for boys, of course. All right, now, what is the form of past continuous? The form of past continuous is subject plus was or verb plus ing. And if it's negative, we just add not. Where does not go? Not goes after was or were. I was not. They were not. I was not studying English when you came. I was scrolling on Instagram. Sorry, I'm very honest. When you came, I was not studying English. I was scrolling on Instagram like this, okay? She was not having breakfast at 8 o'clock this morning. Okay, let's close our eyes. Let's visualize her kitchen. She was not having breakfast at 8:30 this morning. Okay, I'm at 8 o'clock. I'm visualizing her. I will talk about this function. They were playing football the whole afternoon yesterday. Did they study? No. Did they practice the piano? No. They were playing football the whole afternoon. Now, for the question, we use was or were plus subject plus verb plus ing. For example, were you studying English when I came? No, I was scrolling on Instagram, to be honest. Was she having breakfast at 8 o'clock this morning? No, she wasn't. Were they playing football the whole afternoon yesterday? Yes, they were playing football the whole afternoon. Now, guys, this is very important. When is past continuous used? Past continuous used when an action was happening or when an action was in progress at a certain time in the past. For example, when the class started, he was sleeping. Look, when the class started is a specific time because our class starts at 8:30. When the class started, he was sleeping. It was like this. Okay, and he had his phone like this. So he was sleeping when the class started. An action was in progress. Did he stop sleeping? No. He was sleeping like this. Now, guys, look at the picture. This is my bag. This is my laptop and my notebooks. And where is it? This is the library. Yesterday at this time, I was preparing for the class. Listen. Yesterday at this time, it's 4:10, like Melbourne time. Yesterday at this time, I was at the library and I was preparing for the class. An action in progress at a certain time in the past. Look, guys, again, I would like to facilitate it a little bit using this Persian part, which is داشتم. داشتم یه کاری میکردم. دیروز در این ساعت داشتم برای کلاس آماده میشدم. داشتم. Whenever you have داشتم, this is past continuous. Visapick was working on its migrant support programs at the time of COVID. When COVID hit, Visapick didn't sit down and wait, let's see what happens. I hope that the borders will open. It didn't do that. Visapick at that time was working on its migrant support programs. Of course, at that time, only the business visa holders could enter Australia, so it was mostly focused on them. Migrant, it was working on its migrant support programs. Oh, COVID. He was eating breakfast when the PTE class started. Very good. That's exactly the point. Farhan. Well done. Number 2, guys. They're very much similar. Number 2 is very much similar to number 1, but because they are important, I gave them different categories. We use past continuous when something in the past is temporary and parallel with another thing. 2 actions are happening at the same time. For example, I was scrolling on Instagram when he was cooking dinner. He was cooking dinner, I was scrolling on Instagram. I was scrolling on Instagram while he was cooking dinner. You see, these 2 actions were happening in parallel in the past. And both of them had a duration. She was both working and studying for PTE during the summer. She was both working and studying for PTE at the same time. Over the weekend, in the past, over the weekend, it's a duration. It's 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. Over the weekend, they were painting their bedrooms. This is, guys, very, very common in Australia, especially Aussie families themselves. They do the painting, okay, and house maintenance stuff by themselves. because these jobs like painting, stuff like that, maintenance, they are very expensive in Australia. So Aussie families, a lot of them do these tasks by themselves, like the father and the kids, for example, they do gardening, okay, on the weekend. And so this could be very true about Australians. Over the weekend, they were painting their bedrooms. They were painting. I was writing a review for PicTac while Layla was teaching. I was so happy with the class. My heart was pounding like this. Is the heart here? Yeah, it's here. Boom, 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 boom. And I said, oh my God, she teaches very well. I'm really enjoying the class. Oh my God, let's write a review for her. So while she was teaching, I was writing a review for her on Google. Okay? Well, guys, I definitely don't want you to write a review in class. Definitely. I want you to listen to me. That's the best thing you can do. But please, if you're happy with the quality of the class, if you're happy with the quality of the service being provided, please make sure that you leave us a Google review. In order to do it, it's very easy. Just go to Google, type PicTalk. This is what you will see, and this is us, okay, with 34 Google reviews so far, which is great, but we definitely need to increase that. Go and write a review for us. All your reviews, guys, are appreciated. All right. Are you ready for a new tense? You must be ready, guys. There is no way out of it. The next tense we'll be talking about is past perfect. Don't worry, guys. We're about to finish the tenses. The next tense we're going to talk about is past perfect. Okay, so we had present simple, present continuous, present perfect. We had past simple, past continuous. Here, we're going to talk about past perfect, and it has only one usage, so it's very easy. What's the form of past perfect? Past perfect is very similar to present perfect, but it's in the past. So instead of have or has, we use had, okay? It's subject plus had plus PP. And if it's negative, it's subject plus had not plus PP, all right? So I had gone, I had not gone. She had gone, she had not gone. For example, I had studied English before I started French. I'm so active. I learn English, I learn French, I learn Mandarin, I learn Spanish, okay? And I had studied English before I started French. She had had breakfast before she left the house. So she left the house, but before that, she had had her breakfast. After they had played football, they decided to study a bit. So first, they played football, then they decided to study. So, after they had played football, finish, they decided to study. For the question, guys, I feel you're getting tired, and I do see that, of course, in your text as well. We're going to have a break very soon, so don't worry about that, all right? Let's finish up with the past tense, and then we can have a break. We can have a quick break. Now, what is the form of past perfect for questions? It's just had plus subject plus PP. Like what? Like, had you studied English before you started French? Had she had breakfast before she left the house? Had they played football before they decided to study? Had they played football? And the most important piece of information here about past perfect is when it is used. The forms are very easy. Have, has, PP, had, PP, okay? Am, is, are, verb, ing. The meanings are important. The usages are important. When is past perfect used, guys? It is used in different situations. We care only about one of them for the sake of PTE, and that's the easiest one. It is used when two actions happened in the past, or maybe more than two actions. One of them happened before another. And we want to emphasize this. So you have, for example, two actions in the past. One action happened and finished, and then the next action started, okay? The very common adverbs for past perfect are before and by the time. Have a look. For example, before Australia closed its border in 2020, COVID had become a very serious issue all around the world. Look, COVID became a serious issue in January, February. I remember that, 2020. And then Australia closed its borders in March. So, before Australia closed its borders, COVID had become a very serious issue worldwide. By the time she graduated from the university, she had already found her job in accounting, okay? By the time she graduated from the university, she had already found her job. What happened first? First, she found a job. Then she graduated from the university. First found a job, then graduated from the university. Okay, so first action, past perfect. Second action, simple past. By the time she graduated from the university, she had already found a job. Guys, what's the meaning of by the time? Could you type it in the chats? Immediately, before, once upon, before. Very good, guys. Let's go for the easiest one. It's before. By the time means before, okay? By the time she graduated means before she graduated. Before she graduated from the university, she had already found a job, okay? So, guys, it's before, all right? Forget about anything else. By the time means before, okay? Before and until. Or before. For example, before the class started, we had the links. Very good. Before the class started, we had received the links. So first you receive the links, then the class starts. By the time the class started, we had received the links. By the time I was 30, I had worked in 2 different jobs. By the time I was 30, before that, I had worked in 2 different jobs. Okay. Guys, this is past perfect simple. This is the last one, okay? Past perfect continuous is used when the first action has a continuous nature. Look, for example, of course, first the form. It's very easy. We had plus PP. Here we have had been plus PP, okay? So whenever you have the continuous one, it's always verb plus ing. Whenever it's the perfect one, it's have or has or had. So look, guys, we are playing with the names. And guys, I know that you say, Leila, is too much, your speed is high. But look, guys, we're not joking. We're working on the content for PTE, all right? And there is a lot of content. It's not like a general English class, like a termic class, okay, that you take like 1 hour, 2 hours, you go and they teach you all of these in 2 years. The point is, we need to review all these. And my assumption, is that you already know these. You've already been exposed to this. Of course, you've got problems. That's fine. Okay, but, you know, I cannot come to the class and teach you for 1 quarter and then very slowly, and then I cannot teach you what you need, to be honest. I understand my speed is high. You're right, my speed needs to be high, guys. Or we need to be picky. Okay, I can teach you half of the content. I say, okay, guys, we're not going to cover these. We're going just to cover this. But let's teach it like a general English class. You know what I mean? But this is not a general English class. So I do understand that you might find it hard to adapt. I do understand that. At the same time, I must cover the content as best as I can. Okay, so try not to get bored, okay? That's all I can say. Fortunately, of course, we're going to have some pronunciation, which is much sweeter, so after the break, all right? So I want to keep your spirit high. Yes, very good, Behnam. These classes need to be a wrap-up. It's not like very slow process. But sorry if you are being annoyed. I do understand that, and I do respect your opinions, but on the other hand, we need to cover the content, and we need to cover the content efficiently. Okay, so past perfect continuous and then the break. Past perfect continuous is subject, had been, verb, ing, had been going, had been coming, had been dancing, had been sleeping, all this. For the negative one, you add not after had. For example, I had not been going, she had not been receiving, we had not been teaching, you had not been learning. And the question is had plus subject plus been plus verb plus ing. Had you been going? Had you been teaching? Had she been watching? Had you been dancing? So when do we use it? Only once, okay? Only one function is enough for us. We use it when one continuous action happened before another action in the past. The first action is continuous, and then the second action happens. For example, listen. Before Australia closed its borders, COVID had been killing people for a few months. So, before Australia closed its borders, COVID had been killing. Remember, guys? Remember those days? Remember what happened in our country? Remember what happened over in China? Remember what happened in Italy? Remember what happened in Greece, in Spain? Remember that? COVID had been killing people for months. Continue. Before Australia closed its borders. Australia closed. Before that, COVID had been killing. By the time she graduated from ECU, she had been living in Perth for 4 years. A very Australian sentence. By the time means before. By the time she graduated from ECU, Edith Cowan University, if you were in the webinar last week, of course, we had Adam speaking Australian English from ECU, from Edith Cowan University, okay? Now, our sentence, by the time she graduated from ECU, she had been living in Perth for 4 years. She came to Perth as a student, studied, and then graduated. By the time she graduated, she had been living in Perth for 4 years. And by the time I was 30, I had been working as a teacher for over 10 years. I started teaching when I was about 20 years old. I was 19 years old, okay? So I began teaching for 10 years, and then I turned 30. So by the time I was 30, I had been teaching English for 10 years, okay? A continuous action. Okay, guys, that's it. I got a notification. Sorry, I got distracted. Let's talk about simple. No, we're not going to talk about simple future, guys. I plan to have the break at 5 o'clock, my time, in half an hour. But I know that you're dead tired, means very, very tired. So let's go for a 7-minute break, okay, before you come back. Then we're going to talk about the tenses, all right? Okay, guys, good. Well, let me go to the screen here. Getting back on track with simple future. Are you ready, guys? Are you ready? Are you going to nag? Are you going to nag or no? If you're ready and you're not going to nag, thumbs up. No, Nima says, I'm going to nag. I'm not going to nag. I'm going to nag. Nug. Great. Good. Simple future, guys, is a piece of cake. Will plus verb, okay? So please don't make we're going to talk about simple future. It's very easy. It is will plus base form of the verb. And if it's negative, guys, sorry, here we've got a problem, a mistake. It's will not plus the base form. And if it's the question, it's will plus subject. So I will go, I will not go, will I go, She will go. She will not go. Will she go? They will study. They will not study, or they won't study. Will they study? Okay, so all these. I will not study English tomorrow. No, no, no. She will have breakfast after she wakes up tomorrow. She will have breakfast after she wakes up. Look, guys, don't think like, when do we use future simple? We don't have that, okay? You use future, simple future, will plus verb, whenever you want to talk about the future. So whenever you want to talk about the future, you don't know which kind of future to use future simple. Because future simple works for all types of futures. Future with a plan, future without a plan, future as a prediction, an action in the future, a continuous action in the future. For all of them, you can use will, generally speaking, okay? So we take it easy. We don't talk about any specific usages for future simple. And one of the most important usages of will is in if sentences, like if you study hard, you will succeed in the test. Sorry, guys, I just put my screens back. Okay, will they play football after school tomorrow? Will they play football? Simply, I'm talking about the future. All right, so as I told you guys, for future simple, we don't talk about usages. We say you can always use it in the future, prediction, plan, whatever. We want to focus more on future continuous and future perfect that make a difference, really. All right, let's start with future continuous. As you see here in the graph, future continuous is something continuous in the future. Remember we had past continuous? Remember we had present continuous? This is future continuous. Past continuous, present continuous, future continuous. What is the form of future continuous, guys? This is very important. The form of future continuous is subject, will be, verb, ing. Remember past continuous, was, where, like was going, were going, am going, is going, are going, will be going. This is how it works. If it's negative, then you add not after will, like I will be going, I won't be going. She will be coming, she won't be coming. And if it's a question, then will and subject will swap their places. Like, I will be going. Will you be going? I will be teaching. Will you be teaching? Have a look. I will be studying English tomorrow at this time. Really, guys, I will be studying English tomorrow because I will be working on your Q&A podcast. I will be working on your grammar task sheets. So I will be studying English tomorrow at this time. Yesterday at this time, I was preparing for your class. Today at this time, I am teaching you. And tomorrow at this time, I will be working on your homework. She will be attending a meeting at 3 p.m. tomorrow. So she will be attending a meeting at 3 p.m. tomorrow. You might think, why is it will be? Why we don't say she will attend a meeting at 3 p.m.? You can say that, guys. But we're always looking for the best option. Why do we use future continuous? I'll tell you, wait. And when I arrive home, they won't be playing football. They will be watching TV. Remember, when he came home, I was scrolling on Instagram. When he comes home tomorrow, I will be scrolling on Instagram. It's the same thing, just in the future. Now the usages, this is the very important part. When do we use future continuous? Will be going, will be having, will be dancing. We use it when actions in progress, when there are actions in progress at a certain time in the future, okay? For example, when he arrives. For example, when the class starts. Look, I'm talking about the future. When the class starts, when he comes, when the telephone rings, at 3 p.m. tomorrow, next week at this time. I'm talking about a certain time, specific time in the future. When you're talking about a specific time in the future, you use future continuous. It is also used for planned actions, because when you have planned actions, you usually have a specific time in the future. Look at my examples. They are very clear. For example, I will be preparing. I don't say I will prepare. I can't say that, but it's much better to say I will be preparing. I will be preparing the week 5 assignment tomorrow morning. Look, I'm talking about tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, when you are sleeping, it's your night, but it's my morning. I will be preparing the exercises. I will be preparing the task sheet. Now, you can look at it from 2 angles. Number 1, it's a continuous action in the future. It's not like I prepare it like this. I'm not a magician. I cannot say 3, 2, 1. This is your homework. Here you go. This is your homework. No, I'm not a magician. It takes 2-3 hours, okay? So I will be preparing. Or you can say this is a plan I have, and I'm thinking about it. Tomorrow morning I will be preparing the assignment. A continuous action in the future. Now, I will be running 2 Q&As this week in PTE TikTok group on Monday and Thursday. Look guys, this is a plan. On Monday and Thursday, I know my plan. I will be running 2 Q&As. I don't say I will run. I say I will be running because it's a continuous action. They take 1 hour each. It's a continuous action and it's a plan in the future. Now, guys, tell me yes or no. Can I say I am going to run 2 Q&As? I am going to run. Yes or no? Can I say I'm going to run 2 Q&As? Very good. Good, good, good. Very good, guys. Excellent. Most of you are giving the correct answer. Yes, I can say I'm going to run a Q&A. But guys, the meanings are a little bit different. Okay, when I say I'm going to run 2 Q&As, I'm talking about my plan. It's here. It's here. Okay. When I say I will be running 2 Q&As, it's a plan, but I'm emphasizing that these Q&As take some time. I'm focusing on the duration. That's why I use future continuous. I can even say I'm running 2 Q&As. Remember, I'm visiting the doctor. Remember, present continuous for future. Yeah, it means قراره که. Okay, so all of them are correct, but the meanings are a little bit different. Okay, and when you get the difference, it's very, very sweet. Native speakers, they use the correct form like spontaneously, without thinking. For us, sometimes we need to think which one works better than the other. Okay, now, this is about future continuous. Okay, guys, I want to ask you a question before we go to future perfect. Future perfect is the last tense, of course, of the class. But before that, I want to ask you a question. I want you to write me a sentence. What will you be doing tomorrow at this time? What will you be doing tomorrow at this time? It means, what time is it now? In Tehran, where most of you are best. I think it's, well, what time is it, guys? Is it 10:30? 10:15, I guess. Is it 10:15? I think so. Yes, good. What will you be doing? Listen, what will you be doing at 10:15 tomorrow? What will you be doing at 10:15 tomorrow? I need to stand up, guys. Otherwise, I might have a heart attack because of sitting down. Can you see me properly? Yes, I think you can. Guys, don't care about the board. We don't need it right now. Okay, I'm just reading your examples. Adele, I will be working at the office. Will be plus verb plus ing. Mina, I will be studying at the library. Perfect. Saeed, I'm in a meeting. Well done. Exactly. Or you can say, Saeed, I'll be attending a meeting. I will be attending a meeting tomorrow at this time. Sabah says, I will be working. Very good. Somaya says, I will be working on my project. I will be working. Navid, will be verb ing. Elham says, I will be studying. Very good. So far, everybody will be working or will be studying. I will be working at 10:15, Fahime. Well done. I will be doing my work at the office, Bahara. I will be practicing English. Guys, you are using it very well. That's the point. I mean, as long as you can use it like this, that's what we need. I will be practicing English. Mina, I will be preparing my reports. Oh my God, that's the stressful job. Okay. M says, I'm going shopping. You can say, I will be shopping. I will be shopping, okay? It means you see yourself, you're buying stuff. I will be shopping. I will be going to the gym. Or Ramo, you can say, I will be working out at the gym. If you're at the gym already, you can say, I will be working out at the gym. Okay, I will be going. Very good, Negin. You're the lucky one. I will be going for the new project of Visapick. So you're one of those lucky ones. Well done. I will be studying at home, Mary. Lily, I will be drinking a cup of coffee. Very good, Lily. I will be drinking a cup of coffee because it's your break time. I will be studying PTE tomorrow at this time. I will be working on a serious project, Elena. Well done. Fereshte, I will be doing my assignment at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Well done. Guys, a lot of sentences coming my way. I will be hanging out with my friends. I will be going to a beauty salon. Bahar, you are the luckiest. You're the luckiest, definitely. M, you'd better say, I will be working on my painting, or I will be finishing my painting. That makes sense. I will be finishing my painting. If you want to say it will have finished, then you need to say, I will have finished my painting. We will talk about right now. I will be participating in the next PTE Foundation session. I will have done my practices. Very good, Farhang. Excellent, guys. You're getting to the next level. Okay. Good, good, good. Guys, it's very sweet for a teacher when she or he teaches something and sees that the students are using it very well, like you guys are doing. Guys, just think about it. See yourself in the future doing something. Future plans and actions in progress in the future. Now, what about future perfect? Future perfect is the very last tense we'll be covering today. Very good, and we're not late. Guys, future perfect is like present perfect. It's like past perfect. The only difference is that future perfect is in the future. I know that my explanation was very clear, so I will continue. What is the form of future perfect? Future perfect is will have plus PP. That's it. Will have PP. Will have gone. Will have done. Will have said. Will have finished. Will have participated. Okay? And the negative one is will not have. Like won't have gone, won't have come, won't have said, won't have sit. Will not have sit. And the question is will and the subject. You swap them. Will you have finished the project? Will you have drunk your coffee? Will you have achieved a lot of new things? Will you have? Will she have? Will he have? For example, I will have finished my English assignment before you arrive. Okay? Look, I'm talking about the future, guys. I say before you arrive, but please, I'm talking about the future. So before you arrive is in the future. It's not at the present time. Before you arrive, maybe 2 hours later, I will have finished my English assignment and I will be scrolling on Instagram. I will have finished my assignment and I will be scrolling on Instagram. She will have had her breakfast before the class starts, okay? Look, right now it's 7 o'clock. The class starts at 8 o'clock. So the class starts in the future. I say, before the class starts, she will have had her breakfast. She won't be having her breakfast when the class starts, okay? She will have finished. She will have finished her tea. She will have finished her noon sangak sandwich, she will have finished all of them, all right? By the time they start school, by the time means before. By the time they start school, they will have learned football principles, okay? Maybe they will start school, for example, 2 years later, 1 year later. By the time they start school, they will have learned, finished. They will have learned football principles, okay? Sorry, guys, I'm logged out. All right. Now, let's talk about the usage of future perfect. Look, guys, future perfect and future continuous are very much different from each other. Future perfect emphasizes that an action will finish by a certain time in the future. But future continuous emphasizes the action will continue at that time, will be in progress at that time. So they have nothing to do with each other. Okay, they're very much different. Perfect emphasizes finishing an action. Continuous emphasizes the continuation of that action. When you're talking about the future, everything is in the future. Now, when is future perfect used? Future perfect used when an action will be complete before a future time. For example, your achievements. Look at my sentences. Of course, you use before by the time for this tense a lot. Listen. We will have finished our class by 11:30 a.m. today. This is a great sentence, guys. You're not going to finish that. Look, we will have finished our class by 11:30. It means when you look at your watch and it's 11:30, there is no class in progress anymore. Okay? Because we will have finished our class by 11:30. I'm emphasizing this action, finishing, will have finished by then. By the next 6 months, it means before 6 months, okay? Maybe after 5 months, maybe after 5 months and a half, you will have passed PTE. Guys, I'm telling you, by the next six months, you will have passed PTE. You will have passed, finished, no PTE. You can put all your PTE stuff in the garbage bin because you will have passed. It's an achievement. You will have passed. But maybe I say, in the next 6 months, you will be studying for PTE. In the next 6 months, over the next 6 months, you will be studying. But by the next 6 months, you will have finished. Okay? Will be studying, will have finished. Will be studying, will have passed. That's the difference. I love this one. Guys, please believe it. By 2025, I mean less than 2 years, whatever your plan is, you will have immigrated to Australia. You will have been in Australia, okay? By 2020, I wanted to say by 2024, but then I said it might be a little bit illogical, okay? So I say by 2025, you will have immigrated, okay? If you're in Melbourne, we can see each other. You will have immigrated. You will have come to Australia. You will have arrived in Australia. So you will be trying in the next year or in the next couple of years, you will be trying. But after that, you will have immigrated to Australia. Milad says, by the next 2 months, I will have passed PTE. That's a correct sentence. Excellent. Aida says, by the next 2 years, I will have graduated from ECU. Guys, you are making perfect sentences. You just got it. Well done. Yes. This is future perfect. Now, before the class finishes, in about more than an hour, you will have learned a lot about tenses. By the time the class finishes, look, I'm talking about the future because the class finishes in an hour. By the time the class finishes, you will have learned a lot about tenses. Okay, so you will be learning, and by 6 o'clock, my time, you will have learned a lot of things about tenses, hopefully. Guys, I would definitely love some sentences from your side. Could you please send me some of your sentences? You're already doing it. Let me go up. Finish, it's 11:30. Of course, we will have finished by 11:30. Sorry if I made a mistake. Hamida says, by the next month, I will have finished my vocabulary books. Excellent. Or I will have covered my vocabulary books. I will have passed the PT exam by the next 6 months. BB, well done. Mahmoud says translate into Persian. Look, Mahmoud, there is no Persian translation for that. I honestly don't know. کرده خواهم کرد. I don't know that. We don't have it in Farsi, I guess. It's very hard to translate sometimes. Okay. Guys, the class finishes at the time. Maybe I made a mistake with the time. Sorry, guys, because I'm in a different time zone. Maybe when I say 11:30, 12:30, maybe I'm making a mistake. The class finishes at the time it's supposed to finish, okay? It's not longer or shorter. It's like a normal class. All right. Before going to Australia, I will have visited my relatives. By 2030, the world population will have increased 2 times more than this time. Rama, I will say your sentence like this. By 2030, the world population will have doubled. But your sentence is correct too. Okay. I will have finished my PT exam by the next 3 months, hopefully. Well done. By my 40s, I will have climbed Mount Everest. Well done. Perfect. You got it. So Maya, by the time she comes home, her son will have done his homework. Yeah. That's, I think, one of the hopes or maybe wishes every mother has. Sherry says, by the next 6 months, I will have finished my immigration process. Very good. I will have finished my immigration process. I will have passed PTE, Babak, by the next months. Elham says, I will have met you by the next year. Hopefully, Elham, why not? Well done. I will have met you. I will have visited you. We'll have come out. We'll have gone out together. Mansoura says, before this year, or maybe you can say before the year finishes, I will have learned 4,000 words. Before the year finishes, I will have achieved the pass score in academic IELTS. Well done, Saeed. I will have got my certificate before I immigrate to Australia. Guys, a lot of sentences are coming my way. I just read the last sentence too. I will have endured a lot of pain before my kidney stones pass. Oh my God, Bahar. Sorry to hear that. Your sentence is grammatically correct. I will have endured a lot of pain before the stones pass. I will be accepted in PT, or I will have passed PT. I will have passed PT in the next 2 months. By the next 2 months. By 2024, I will have immigrated. Very good, guys. Very good. Very good. A lot of good sentences are coming my way, and I love them. Well done. You've learned it. You got it. Now to make sure you got it, let's do some practice, huh? Okay. This is our practice number 1. We're going to do 2 sets of these. I'm not going to drag it very long because you gave me some examples, so we did sort of practice, but we need more practice. This week, you're going to have a lot of grammar homework, guys. It's 16 units of grammar in use, I will tell you. But you need to do that. I know it's too much, guys, but it's a heavy load for this week, all right? So you have 16 units of grammar in use, and I will give you some exercises to do in your grammar task sheet. And in class, like this one, we're going to do 2 paragraphs, all right? For this one, guys, you need to put the verb in the correct tense. For example, last weekend, my friends and I go, went, were going, whatever, all the tenses will have been going, had gone, whatever. And for some of these, more than one option is possible. So maybe more than one answer is correct. You need to get that, all right? For this particular task, you have 1 minute. Are you ready to start? Please show me some thumbs up. I love this part. It's practice time. It's not boring anymore. I'm so happy about that. Very well done, guys. So 3, 2, 1, time to start. Put the verb in the correct tense. Okay. As you're sending through your answers, let me go to the board. Guys, can you see my board well? Can you see my board clearly? Please show me a thumbs up just to make sure. Okay, good. Very good. Very good. Okay, so let me put my phone here and I go to the board, making sure you can see me. All right. Look, guys, last weekend, I can write. Last weekend, my friends and I to a music festival, okay? I'm talking about last weekend and I'm talking about going somewhere last weekend. So simple past is enough. I say, last weekend, my friends and I went. If you have any other options, we'll discuss them, don't worry. To a music festival. The atmosphere, amazing. Again, I'm talking about that particular festival, okay, that I went last weekend. So the atmosphere was. Of course, I cannot say was being, the atmosphere was being amazing. Doesn't make sense, all right? So the atmosphere was amazing. And the bands play fantastic music. Now, the bands played or were playing, okay? The bands played or were playing. Both are possible. It's like you're telling a story. We went to a concert, to a festival. It was a very good festival. The atmosphere was so good and the bands played very good music. That makes sense. You can also put some emphasis on the duration of playing. You can say, and the bands were playing very good music. Both are correct. So you can say both, played and were playing. It's bands. That's why I say were playing. Played or were playing. Guys, after we finish, I will show you the slide with the correct answers. You can take a screenshot, so don't worry, okay? Well, we dance and sing along all night. Guys, when I say all night, I'm putting the emphasis on the continuation of the activity, okay? So we were dancing and singing. If you say we sang and danced, I would say, no, it's not a good answer. It doesn't make sense. A native speaker never says we went to a concert, we went to a festival, and we danced and sang all night. No, they say, and we were dancing and we were singing all night. Why? Because you have a duration. It says all night. The action was in progress during a period of time. Okay, so look, همه شب داشتیم میخوندیم و میرقصیدیم. داشتیم میخوندیم و میرقصیدیم. That's exactly this, okay? So, we're dancing and singing. I'm envious. I wish I was there. We were dancing and singing. You might say, Layla, why don't you say we're singing? Guys, one where is enough, okay? Remember we talked about it last week. We have and here. So when you say we're dancing, you don't need to say we're dancing and we're singing and no, just one where is enough. So you say we're dancing and singing along all night. By the time we left, please pay attention to these. By the time we left, it means before. By the time means before. By the time we left, the sun had risen. Why? Because we want to say, okay, we left. All right. Before we left, the sun had risen. Past perfect. We use past perfect when two actions happen in the past. One action happened before another action, okay? So, had risen, past perfect. And it's not risen, guys. It's rise, rose, risen. So, the sun had risen, and we had unforgettable memories. Why? Because we have and here, okay? By the time we left, the sun had risen, and we had great memories. Two actions happened in the past. Look like this one. Can you see it? I think you can see it. Okay? This is the past. I love these timelines. Okay? We're talking about the past. Okay? This is we left. We had a great time, and the sun had risen. So this is simple past. And these two are past perfect. Okay? Let me have a look. Sorry if it's not very clean. This is a teacher's board, okay? But I will show you the clean answer. Yes, Tarana, you can definitely say played. That's correct. Because it's like you're talking about the happenings in the past. We went to a concert and they played very good music and we had a lot of fun. That makes sense. Excellent. Very good, guys. So please have a look at this. But I'm going to show you a clean slide so that you can just take a screenshot. Back to my screen. We're going to have, oh, sorry, I'm back. I'm back on track. We're going to have another exercise like this, which I think is very useful. Okay. These are the answers, guys. Last weekend, my friends and I went to a music festival. The atmosphere was amazing, and the bands played or were playing fantastic music. We were dancing and singing along all night. By the time we left, the sun had risen, and we had had unforgettable memories. Yeah, you can say we had, but had is better because it emphasizes, Adel, and says by the time we left. It's emphasizing that two actions happened before leaving. The sun had risen and we had had great time. What about have had, Negin says. And we have had unforgettable. You know, I understand what you say, Negin and the others who are talking about it. They say we can say we have had unforgettable memories. I wouldn't say we have had unforgettable memories. I would say we have unforgettable memories. Imagine I'm saying before we left, the sun had risen, and now we have unforgettable memories. Why we have had? You can say we have unforgettable memories, like a fact about that. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I say it's not friendly to my ears. Muhammad says, can we say by the time we left the sun was rising? No, Muhammad. When we say by the time, we mean the action completed. You can say when we were leaving, the sun was rising. That's correct. A very good question, Muhammad. You can say not when we were leaving. It's better to say while we were leaving because it's continuous. Remember two parallel actions? While we were leaving, the sun was rising. Oh my God, how romantic. While we were leaving, the sun was rising. You can say that. Look, Tahira, the reason Tahira says why we have that and. Look, Tahira, if you pay attention to the board, let me show you the board again. Look, this and is different from that and. In this and, we don't have a comma, so we are not separating the information. But for this and, Tahira, we have a comma. When you have a comma, you need to repeat all the information because you are separating, you're dividing the information. That's why. Okay, guys, we need to get past. If you write any other questions, of course, I will answer that in the podcast. Don't worry. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay. This one is about your friend in PTE, and that's AI, artificial intelligence, okay? You're going to read this text and you're going to decide the tense of the verbs, all right? Again, everything, past, future, simple, continuous, perfect. For this one, I give you more time because it's a more challenging task. It's I can't read the time I've given you, but I guess it's 1 minute, 20 seconds. It's 70 seconds, okay? Again, put the verb in the correct tense. Ready? Show your thumbs up if you are ready. Good job. There we go. Okay. Let's get to work. Listen to your teacher carefully. All right. You have me? Well, In recent years is signaling something to you that we are going to need present perfect tense because we're talking about in recent years, like lately, like recently, okay? So this is a signal. In recent years, artificial intelligence or AI has become increasingly important. Something happened in the past. The exact time is not important, but we know it happened recently, in recent years, okay? And the result is important now because this happening has changed the whole thing, has changed the whole world. The result is important now that we have AI. So, in recent years, AI has become increasingly important, all right? Researchers tirelessly to develop advanced AI systems that, okay, researchers, I can say are working It means these days researchers are working, okay? I can say researchers have been working. It means since it started until now. Researchers have been working. That also makes sense. I can also say researchers have worked, but I don't say it because have been working is better than have worked because it shows the continuation. It has ing. So I say scientists, researchers are working or have been working. Are working, have been working. You can also say work. It's a fact. Researchers work tirelessly. That's a fact. I'm saying, or a routine. They work on it every day. It's a routine for researchers. Why not? I can say work too. We are not, guys, close to any correct options. It depends how you look at the content, all right? So to me, you can say researchers are working, researchers have been working, researchers work, but I don't say researchers were working because it is continuing right now. So I don't use simple past or I don't use past continuous. AI systems that help us solve complex problems. Guys, I use help here as a fact. I thought about other tenses too, okay? For example, you say systems that are helping us. That also makes sense. To develop advanced AI systems that are helping us. So help us are helping us, but I prefer help because I look at it as a fact. Complex problems. Currently, it's signaling something. Currently means these days, nowadays, at the present time, present continuous. Currently, we are using, and don't say we use because it says these days, okay? Or did it say these days? It says currently. So we are using AI in various industries from healthcare to finance. Experts predict that AI, it's a prediction, so it's about the future. I say AI will continue, simple future. Guys, will be continuing, will have continued is definitely wrong because you're not talking about finishing an action in the future. It will continue, all right? Will be continuing could also make sense. Or is going to continue. That's also okay. So will continue or will be continuing. But I prefer will continue. Okay. To shape the future, revolutionizing how we live and work. It means some people even believe by the next decade, we're talking about a certain time in the future. By the next decade, future perfect. It will have replaced future perfect. Remember, I will have immigrated to Australia. I will have finished my homework. I will have met you at a cafe. That's the same thing. AI will have replaced human beings in many jobs. Sorry to say that, guys. You might not see me. You might see some AI teacher teaching you called Sophie, much more beautiful than me, all right? So we'll have replaced human beings in many jobs, okay? Again, you can take a screenshot of this, but I will have a clean slide for you to take a screenshot. And meanwhile, I will have a look at your questions, guys. Will be replacing. I don't agree with will be replacing a فرشته because we say by the next decade. When you say by a time, you want to emphasize an action will finish. Will have replaced, okay? By the time you are emphasizing an action will finish in the future. Is becoming was wrong. Let me find is becoming. Becoming. In recent years, artificial intelligence is becoming. Yes, it's wrong. And you know, I guess what is happening, Negin? I feel you might be translated it into Farsi. This is my feeling. Maybe I'm making a mistake. Because in Farsi, we say that, but in English, no. When you say in recent years, it means you're talking about something happened in the past. The exact time is not important. The result is important. So you don't use present continuous. You use present perfect. It does not refer, help. Okay, we have a question that help. Guys, I have a question here about help and helps. This is systems. AI systems help is plural. We have been using, let me see, guys. We have been using, I'm just looking for that. Currently, we have been using no. Look, currently is an adverb. Who asked this question? It's Sepide. Look, Sepide, when you say currently, it means something is happening these days. Something is happening at the current time, at the present time. And for this, we use present continuous. Guys, please do not translate these into Farsi. Sometimes it works, like past continuous. Past continuous in English is exactly like past continuous in our native language, so it works. But most of these tenses are very much different in our native language. So the moment you translate this, everything goes wrong, okay? Massey says, why will be continuing? Because you think it is an action in progress in the future. Will continue, will be continuing. It means it will continue and continue and continue and continue. I'm emphasizing the continuation. And I told you that I prefer will continue. I agree with you. All right, guys, let's move on. Any questions, please pop them. I will answer them, of course. Okay, sorry, guys. I'm not very tech savvy, as you know, and sometimes I say, oh my God, it's not moving. What should I do? And I'm alone today here, so yes. I'm praying, oh God, please. No technical problem occurs. But I worked on my confidence, okay? And I've been able to do it so far with no problems. Okay, guys, please take a picture. Great. And guys, some of you are sharing the screenshots in the group, which is great, so that everybody can use. Well done. Okay. I will give you guys, I would say 4 more texts like this in your task sheet, okay, that you play with the different tenses. Please do it. Please do it, okay? If you don't do it, it's not really enough. It's not like you learn the tenses. You learn the tenses, I know, you understood them, but it needs practice, all right? Now, the break time was supposed to be now. Okay. Who is ready for pronunciation? Show me a thumbs up for pronunciation, please. Good. Tenses finished. And guys, next time we're going to have passive. Oh my God, you're going to love passive. And I'm telling you guys, if you want to learn the content of next session well, please work on tenses. Because next session, I assume that you know tenses well. If you don't know the tenses, you will have a lot of problems with passive, okay? All right. Now, let's dive in pronunciation. The pronunciation work we're doing today is short and it's very, very sweet, of course, very light. All right. Let's have a very quick revision because we didn't have pronunciation last week, so a very quick revision. Say yes or no. Does PTE care about your accent? Yes, no. No, very good. Guys, accent is not important. PTE doesn't care you speak American English or British English or Scottish English. It's not important, really. As long as you speak clearly, it's okay. We talked about pronunciation principles 2 weeks ago. We talked about single sounds. We talked about vowels and consonants. We talked about consonant clusters. And we talked about word stress very quickly, huh? Single sounds, remember we had a table like this. I also emailed you this table to have it. It talks about the vowels, it talks about the diphthongs, and it also talks about the consonants like a, e, u, they are like vowels, pe, sh, te, they are consonants. E, ow, o, a, they are diphthongs. I also sent you some tables to know how these sounds are pronounced in different words, and we also practiced that in class too. We talked about consonant clusters when we've got a group of consonants next to each other, and these scenarios are possible. We can have consonant like friend, 3, stops. We can have consonant, which is harder. It's like screen, it's not screen. Squat, it's not squat. And thinks, okay? For us as native Persian speakers, they are a little bit challenging because we don't have CCC in Farsi. And maybe the worst one, the hardest one is CCCC, like glimpsed, for example. We also talked about word stress. We said how important word stress is because it changes the meaning of a word. So it's very, very serious. And we had an example like technological. Yeah, just this is not something I say, okay, and you get, okay, that's very easy. There are rules and regulations for stress. When you see a word, you need to guess where the stress falls, but that's not our focus in this class. In this class, we say when you see a new word, when you're putting a new word in your vocabulary bank, please listen to a pronunciation, repeat it several times, and pay attention to the stress. And put the stress mark. Remember, we did it like technological. It must be there in your Anki. It must be there in your like Google Doc, must be there in your vocabulary book. Stress is very important, unlike accent. Now, today, in our very short pronunciation lesson, we will be working on some common PTE challenging stuff. These are the things we know you will have in PTE, so you can work on the pronunciation on them, okay? For example, for this one, I give you a number of words. I've done it, guys, very interestingly. I've done it in the form of 2 easy exercises, all right? Not very long lessons, because let's work on it according to its importance, not more than that. I give you a table. This table has got 3 columns, se, ze, and is. Let me show you with my cursor. Can you see my cursor? Probably you cannot see that. Look, se, ze, and is. We have the nouns and the verbs here. For example, I have laptop, laptops. So where does it go? It goes in se, laptops. I have go, goes. Where does goes go? What is the sound of final S? It's Z. So you write goes in Z column, all right? There are nouns, plural nouns, and there are third person verbs, like goes, like needs, like washes. Please categorize these words into the correct categories. Layla, teach us how to do it. Guys, I'm not going to teach you how to do it because it's not very important. Say it, listen to yourself, and put it in the column, all right? Guys, is it clear? Show me a thumbs up if it's clear. Very good. You need to categorize the words into the correct categories. Well done. And for this, you have 1 minute. Let's do it. All right. Well, guys, are you ready? Let's check the answers. So, look, guys, My method for doing it for PTE test takers is this, okay? If it was a general English class, I would talk about it for 2 hours. But for the sake of PTE, just take it easy, all right? Say it in a way that you're more fluent. Say it and listen to yourselves. This one is peaches. Guys, can you say peaches? No, you need to say peaches, okay? So it goes in this column. Students. Students. It's very hard to say students or students. Oh, just say it. Just say it. Just say it and listen to yourselves. So, students. Teachers. It's very hard to say teachers. I love my teachers. No, I love my teachers. It's very easy to say teachers. Challenges. Advancements. It's very hard to say advancements. So, advancements. Say it, listen to yourselves. Searches. For example, she searches a lot. I cannot say searches or searches, searches, search. If I say searches, it becomes very, very unfluent. I need to say searches, searches, searches. So, washes, wash, wash. It's impossible. Washes, washes. Stops, stops, stops. She stops. No, she doesn't stop. She doesn't stop. She stops. Whispers, whispers. Shh. We will finish in 20 minutes. Shh. I'm whispering. She whispers. Improves. Technology improves life. And subtracts, like subtraction. 5 minus 2 is 3, okay? Subtraction, subtract. So, subtracts. That's it, guys. I have a clean slide, of course, to show you for this with the correct answers. Guys, something is wrong here. What is it? Whispers, teacher? Oh, peaches. Sorry, guys. I have put peaches in the wrong column in this, okay? Please be careful. Peaches is this one. No, I mean, the correct one is on the board. Peaches is in the wrong cell. Peaches is in the is category, all right? I will, of course, send you the correct answers as well. Good. But peaches is wrong there, guys, okay? Peaches must be in this category, in is category. Well, how was it, guys? Easy? Hard? How did you go? Good? Bad? Look, very good. Guys, I don't want you to waste your time. Go and study. When do we say so? When do we say zo? When do we say is? Guys, it's not important. It's not a general English class. Don't waste your time. Say it in a way that is more fluent for you. And when you do it, you automatically, spontaneously, you produce the correct one. Okay, but then you study when you have che, and when you have she, and when you have de, and when you have te, then you need to say se, but when you have be, forget about it, guys. It's a time waster. You need to do it from the board, guys, because there is a problem with the slide. Look, you have these words on the board. You need to categorize them into 3 categories again. But in this, we're not talking about se, ze, and is. We're talking about id, te, and de. You have a number of verbs. They are past forms or PP forms. You need to say what the final sound is. For example, this one is Guys, can you see me properly? Could you please show me a thumbs up? I feel I've missed something. Can you see me properly? Good, okay. So let me see. Okay, for example, try, okay? I say tried, tried. What do you hear? I hear de. So I put tried here, okay? I put tried here. The next one is switched, switched. Listen to yourself. What do you say? Switched, switched. It's very hard to say switched, switched. It's very hard. You need to say switched, switched, switched. It's easier to say that. It's more fluent to say that. So it goes in this category. I say switched, okay? What about this one? Need, needed. You cannot say need, okay? You need to say needed. So it goes in this category, it, needed. Now, I did these three. You please do the rest of them, okay? Which category do they go? Let me get out of the picture. Well, guys, let me get back here. This one is revolutionized. Revolutionized. It's very hard to say revolutionized or revolutionized. Very easy. Very simply, we say revolutionized. Okay, so it goes here. I changed the color, guys, so it's a bit revolutionized. Sorry, I know it's not very clean, but I have the clean slide for you. Revolutionized. Cultivated. Cultivated. Say it and listen to yourselves. Cultivated. Manufactured. Manufactured. It's very hard to say manufactured or manufactured. Manufactured. Easy peasy. So it goes here. Learned. Of course, you know, for learned, we've got two types of PPs. We've got learn, learnt, learned, and we've got learn, learned, learned. This one is learned, okay? If you put it in this category, if you put it in category, I'm still okay because we have learned as a word, but I would put it in the de category, learned. So, learned. Surrounded. Surrounded. Commented. He commented on my post. Commented. Washed. You might say washed, but guys, if you want to say washed, it's hard. Listen to me. Washed. Washed. But washed. 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 Because she and te are close to each other. That's the reason behind it. So, washed. Washed. And stopped. Again, it's very hard to say stopped because p and d are very far from each other in our mouth and throat. It's easier to say stopped. Stopped. Okay, that's it. All right. So guys, let me share my screen with you to see the answers. Yeah, these are the answers, guys. Please have a look. Good. Please have a look at them. You can take a screenshot as well. Guys, after surrounded, we have commented. You might not see it because it's behind my picture. And guys, something changed in the settings. That's why you cannot see commented there. But when I was doing it, it was in the right place, but now it's not. Because I think this, my picture has changed its position. But I cannot change it, so I just tell you, after surrounded, we have commented. Very good. Excellent, guys. All right. So far, so good. So far, so good, guys. Please let me know. Guys, I'm telling you, this piece of what we said in the past 15 minutes might seem very easy, okay? But it's one of the, I would say, really important. I'm not saying it's the most important, but I'm saying it's one of the important things, one of the important topics in PTE pronunciation, okay? What is that? Do we need to exaggerate when we're pronouncing these in the test? In the test, you remember a few sessions ago, like 2 weeks ago, we had an RA text. Remember, I gave you a text. I said you need to read it. In this text, you've got a lot of words with S, a lot of words with D, a lot of words with ED, okay? And a lot of people who take the test, they believe that PTE is silly, so they exaggerate the words. For example, when they want to say switched, they say switched, and they say no. It's switched. The PTE machine needs to understand I'm saying switched because it's going to detect it as switch. No, guys, take it easy. Say it in a way that you're more fluent. PTE AI machine is not that silly, we think. All right, please don't exaggerate. If you know it's switched, don't say switched. Don't say stops, okay? Don't say, what else? Let me have some examples here. Don't say, washed. Don't say revolutionized. Hey, PTE, revolutionized. No, take it easy, revolutionized. Just say it. Even if that final de, te, se, even if it's not very clear, guys, that's fine. Don't make it too clear. So, do we need to exaggerate when we are pronouncing in the test? No, 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 okay? Farhang says how to pronounce some difficult words in the test that we have never faced it. Farhang, we will talk about these strategies in the PTE course. There are strategies, tricks to do that. Okay, good. Well, guys, so next time we're going to continue with the, of course, voices. Today we talked about the tenses. Next time we're going to talk about the voices, active and passive voice. And we will also continue with the pronunciation stuff. And we will start oral fluency, which is very important, which is damn important, okay? All right. Well, guys, hope you're doing well. Before we talk about the homework, which is the last thing I'm going to share with you, just write some stuff for me in the group. What is your takeaway from this class? What will you remember after we finish the class? By the time the class finishes, what will you have learned from this class? Negin says tenses. Future perfect, Hamida. Very good. What else? Tenses, future perfect. Reason had touch. I love that one. By the time means before. Very good. This is what I'm looking for, guys. Maybe these very teeny tiny bits, okay, that you didn't know and now you know, or now you feel more confident with. Grammar is very important, Ati. It definitely is. Ramos says important and useful things. Thank you. That was too general. Adela says by the time is used for perfect tenses. Very good. By the time, by the time. By the time in the future, by the time in the past. Okay, they're all used with perfect tenses. Very good, Mahir. I love what you said. Do not exaggerate. Take a deep breath and be yourself. Do not exaggerate. Wanted. PTE wanted. Washed. I want to take it out from your eyes, PTE washed. Okay. Grammar, 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 Ferishte. You work on it and you will improve. That's the point. So Maya says past perfect, present perfect, continuous. M says future perfect by a perfect teacher. Wow, that's so kind of you. I love that. Like a poem. It rhymes. Neda, thank you. That's a golden piece. We should not translate for the pieces, guys. I translated myself for you when I was teaching past continuous and also present arrangement, like I am doing something, because I think translation works there, so I did it. But for all others, I didn't translate honestly because it doesn't work. Otherwise, I could have said one sentence in Farsi, okay, as I did today, but that doesn't help. They're very different. Very good, Adele. Sherry says reviewing tenses was great and the whole class was as well. Very good. Perfect tense uses for finished things. Excellent. Whether it's in the past, Hamid Reza, whether it's in the future, it is used for finished things. By the time the class finishes, Somaya, I will have learned tenses, because you're talking about the future, because the class hasn't finished yet. Leila, by the time the time finishes, what will you have taken? What have I taken? What will you have taken? What will you have taken, Sepide? Because we're talking about the future. What have you taken is about the past. All right, but we don't know the exact time. It's present perfect, but it's about the past. I'm talking about the future, so I say, what will you have taken? That's why. Don't translate in your mind, please. Sepid, I will definitely answer your question in Q&A about the last assignment. Yeah, I will definitely do that, Sepid. I saw your question this morning. Yeah, I will answer it. Don't worry. Bobak says, I've never seen an energetic teacher like you, dear. Thank you so much, Bobak. It's all very, very kind of you. Guys, I get my energy from you. That's it. I mean, before I started the class, of course, I wasn't this much full of energy. But now, I'm even more energetic than before the class. Okay? By the time the class finishes, I will have gained more and more energy from you guys. Thanks for the positive vibes. And Nima says, don't forget to leave a comment and give stars in Google for PicTalk, guys. Nima, thank you very much for your support, guys. Very good. Guys, to show your support, please go on Google, leave us a review. I know it's something you always post. I do it next time. I do it tonight. I do it next week. But please make sure you do it, guys. The moment you feel the class is useful, please leave a review for us. That's the best thing you could do for our business, let's say. Taran, we have a class next week. We're not going to have a class in 2 weeks. We will make announcements. Don't worry. Guys, did you take a screenshot of the homework? Because I'm going to finish the class in 1 minute. M says, what's your name, M? You don't have your complete name here. Says, when you talk about the whole class in English, I can't communicate well. That's a challenge. I know what you say. I know that you might feel, well, if you teach these all in Farsi, it's going to be like easier to follow. I do understand and I do see that it's a challenge, but cope with this challenge. That's all I can say. And I'm sure these days it's much better than the week we started, M, because you've been used to it. Okay, we run our classes in English. That's our, like, let's say, guideline. All right, and I agree that sometimes it gets tough, but try to cope. Don't give up. Okay, guys, have a great time. Please take a screenshot of your homework. Don't say what is the homework after the class. Of course, I'm going to share this as well. Unit 1 to 16 from Grammar in Use. It's all about tenses. You don't need to do all of it. Just make sure you know what it is about. Okay. Have a great weekend, guys, and we're going to finish the class with a very beautiful song. Thanks, team. Thank you very much for your kind support. From me here, it's goodbye.